Hi everyone, welcome back to one more video. So in this video we'll see or we're gonna learn how to delete a data in a database using Spring Boot application. So without wasting much time, so let's move to our Eclipse IDE. First what we need is we need to set up a project in our Eclipse IDE. Okay, so here for the project, for Spring Boot project, I'm using Eclipse IDE, and also for the database I'm using MySQL workbench. Okay, so I'll show you step by step how we can able to achieve this. All right, so first and foremost thing what we have to do means we need to set up the project in your Eclipse IDE. So first what you do is just open your Chrome browser or any of your favorite browser and go for start.spring.io, or you can directly type something called spring. Okay, spring initializer. So you'll get the first link over here. So when you click on that link, so this kind of dashboard or this kind of website you're gonna see. So here you need to give your project information, everything. Okay, so as of now I'll keep my project information as, let's say, I need to insert a data. Okay, or I need to get a data, or I need to delete data, whatever it is. So we need to have an example, right? So we'll take an example of an employee. So we'll store, or let's say, we'll keep it as employee itself. So we'll store the employee data, we'll get the employee data, we'll update the employee data, everything. First we need to set up the project, right? So I'll mention this group name as, okay, let's say com.employee, com.employee, employee. Okay, com.employee. So project name, okay, project name I'll give as mighty. Okay, mighty, mighty, our channel name. So mighty. So description I'll keep it same thing, and here the package name I'll mention as com.employee. I don't want mighty, so I'll just keep as com.employee. Alright, so let this be jar, or you can select the var as well, and here I'm selecting the version 8. Okay, so we need some dependencies. Okay, so when you are when you want to perform CRUD operation on your DB, means you need certain dependencies. Okay, so we'll add one by one. All right, so first dependence will be like this. So first, let's say Spring Web. Okay, Spring Web is the first one, and second one, let's say JPA. Okay, Spring Data JPA SQL. As you can see, preset data in SQL stores with Java persistence API using Spring Data and Hibernate. So JPA, and one more thing you need, MySQL driver. Okay, MySQL driver is required, and let's say what else we need is, I'll also include Spring Boot Dev Tools. So I'll tell you what are my this Dev Tools as well. Okay, so I select this one. Alright, so I think this much is good. Let me check whether I have imported everything. Okay, yeah. So I have imported what all the dependencies are required to achieve this project or achieve this example. Okay, so very simple thing. Now click on generate. Okay, a zip file will be downloaded. Okay, that we need to extract it, and then we need to import that project in our Eclipse IDE. So as you can see here, a zip file came over here. I just click on save over here. Alright, so here you can able to see the zip. So let me extract this files, or extract the zip file. Okay, like this. So just the right button, extract files, and click on OK. So here you can able to see a mighty folder is there. Is a project name is mighty. Okay, so I'm going to close this, and also I minimize the browser as well. Okay, so now I am in my Eclipse IDE. Okay, so you need to import your project over here. So let's click the right button in the package explorer, or you can able to go for file as well. So just directly click on right button over here. Okay, this is going to open option to import. Okay, just click on import. Alright, so import, probably you won't getting like this. Suppose if you are using for the first time, just if you don't see this Maven, search Maven like this. Okay, so it will be like this. So expand this and click on existing Maven projects. Alright, so select this, click on next, and here you need to browse your that mighty zip folder which I have just extracted, right? So click on browse, and in my case it's been extracted in download section. So this is our mighty folder. I'm gonna select this and click on select folder, and this pom.xml has to come. And by the way, in I have already explained in my previous videos as well, form.xml is like a heart of your project. Okay, yes, so make sure it is checked and click on finish. So this will take some time to import. As you can see at the bottom right side over here, the import of this project has been started. So let's this get imported. In the meantime, we'll go and we'll create a database. Okay, we'll create a database and we'll create a table. All right, so let's get redirected to our MySQL workbench. By the way, suppose if you didn't install MySQL workbench and also Eclipse IDE in your system, means I have given the download and installation link in the description as well, so you can go and check both that. All right, so let's create a new database. So let me check whether I have any employee database. Already I have an employee database. So first let me delete this employee database. Okay, so it's very simple. Just remember, okay, delete database. What's my database? Actually it was already existent, so I'm going to delete that, and next I'm going to create it new. Okay, data. Okay, so okay, we should not use a delete, it's drop. Yeah, drop database employee. Okay, so the statement has been executed. All right, so as you can see at the left hand side, you cannot able to see that employee DB is there. Okay, so let's create a database first. Okay, so you can able to write it through query, or you can use the UI as well. So just let's write a query. Okay, so create. Okay, create create database and give a database name. So as of now, employee is a database name. Okay, just give a comma and run this statement. So our database will be created over here at the left side. Okay, so if you cannot able to see this, means just click a right button over here and click on refresh all. All right, so now you can able to see your employee DB. So just click a right button and make this as default. All right, so now we have created our database. So let's create a table. Okay, just click a right button, create table. All right, so with the UI only we'll just create our entire table. All right, so let's do it quickly. So this will take a few more seconds to load it. So here it's been loaded, and I'll keep my table name as employee data. Okay, employee, or let me give in the lowercase, employee underscore data is my table name. All right, so let's give one by one value. So first I'll give employee name. Okay, let's say employee name. All right, so employee name, it is, since it's a character, I'll make sure it is varchar, and I'll remove this as well, it's not required as of now. Okay, yes, so int, not null, yes, fine. So employee name and this is varchar. So let me keep it as varchar and give a size of 45. All right, so next let's say employee mail ID. Okay, we're just taking an example, right? So employee mail ID, it's also of type varchar, and contact number, so I'll keep it as number. Okay, so number I'll mention it as int. Okay, all right, so name is done, mail ID is done, number is done. So what else? Let's say state. Okay, let's take state. From which state the employee is, and what else we can able to add over here? Employee name, mail ID, and number, state, and what else we can able to add? Let's say shall we include country? Country is not required. So job role. Okay, let's keep it as job role. All right, so job role, what kind of job is doing. All right, so this much is enough as of now. So we're gonna perform all the correct operation for this. Okay, all right, so let's just click on apply and click on apply again and click on finish. So your table will be created. Let me close all of this. If you refresh over here, at the table over here, if you expand this, you can able to see your employee data table. So now we have successfully created a table. All right, so now we'll go to our Eclipse IDE again. We'll check whether our project has been imported. Yes, our project has been imported successfully. So here you can able to see mighty project. So expand that. All right. So expand this as well. So here you can able to see a package which is named com.employee. So in this particular package itself, there will be a mighty application.java. So this is the main file. So through this file only our application is going to start. The reason, so this file has a main function, okay, and it is running Spring Boot application dot or Spring application dot run. All right, so very simple. It's the main function or main function file. All right. So first, what you have to do means you need to create few packages. Okay. So now what you want to do is just select this source main Java. Just click a right button and make sure you need to follow the package name in a group way. So new, click on package. Okay, so package name, let's say you need to follow this package name itself. So com dot employee dot controller. So controller is where you're gonna create all your APIs. So just click on finish. So a new package has been created. Okay, so let's create 1 2 3 4 3 more or 4 more packages. So I'll tell you why we need to do everything. So let's create one more package over here. Com dot employee dot, let's say service finish. Okay, so one more package, new and package com dot employee dot service IMPL. Service IMPL means service implementation. So click on finish, and the last package will be util, db util, where we're gonna give the db connection file or connection, giving connection for your database. So let's say com dot employee dot, let's say db util. Okay, db util. Alright, so we have created all 5 packages or all extra 4 packages. Alright, so before getting into this, just expand this source main resource. Okay, so open this file application.properties. Alright, so open this. Alright, so now what you have to do means I'll just give you this code, just paste this code directly over here. Okay, so just no need to get confused over here. What it is means, to give a application means mentioning your database connection directly through application.properties. Okay, so this will, or this project directly will connect to your database over here. So if you observe over here, the URL, this is the driver, your name, and the username of your MySQL, and the password of your MySQL workbench. Okay, and it's not required to remember this as well. Reason, this you can able to type directly in the internet that what is the db connection or application.properties file for connectioning of your Spring Boot application to MySQL workbench. You can directly get this information, so no need to remember this. All right, so there is one more changes where at the URL position you need to mention your database name. So what's your database name? It's your database name was employee, right? So let's type it as employee. Okay, so I hope it is clear, and just click on save. Alright, so now we'll give a DB connection to our database, and then we'll run our application whether it is working fine or not. Alright, so just click here we have DB util. Just create a new file in DB util. Alright, so just click a right button, go for new, and go for class. Alright, so here we have name. So I'll mention as let's say, let's just keep it as db util itself, db util. Okay, and click on finish. A new class has been created inside com.employee.db util. Alright, so we'll give the connection one by one. So concentrate everyone. So private. So every time connection has to be private. Alright, so private connection, this is a connection, and the object of connection is connection in a smaller case or lowercase. So first I'll keep my connection as null. Alright, and also I'll keeping my connection as static. So why I'm keeping as static? Because the connection always will be same. It is not going to change all the time, right? So that's why I'm keeping the connection as static, and here you'll get an error, so that you need to import this. So just hold your mouse over there and click on import connection, which is from java.sql. Alright, just select this one. Alright, so connection has been imported. Alright, so let's write a method. Okay, let's write a method over here. Okay, public this method is going to return a connection. So public static connection get connection is the method name which I am giving for this. Alright, so here you are getting an error because you are returning connection, so you need to return the connection over here. Alright, so return connection and give a semicolon. So actually it is returning directly, so we need to give a direct connection to our database. Okay, so let's say now understand carefully. If connection is not equal to null. Okay, if the connection is not equal to null means, if the connection is not null means connection if already exists means you can directly return the connection. Okay, if the connection is already exists means you can directly return the connection. If suppose connection is not established, so else, so let's give a connection. Okay, so now carefully try to understand this. String, okay, so driver is equal to, so this is the actual driver which you can able to get directly from the internet as well. So instead of going to internet, so here we have already included the driver over here, right? So okay, wait, we have included username and password, so driver we need to give directly over here. So this is our driver. So let's say com.mysql.cj.jdbc.driver. Okay, driver, and give a comma, semicolon. Alright, so next string URL, okay, is equal to, in double quotes, here I have already mentioned the URL, so I'll just copy this directly. Okay, and I'm gonna paste it inside this, and also I'm adding few more things, that question mark use SSL means a security, a little bit security, so that I'm mentioning as false. Okay, is equal to semicolon. Alright, so next thing, so next string user is equal to, by default this will be root. Okay, and let's give a password. String password is equal to, so my MySQL workbench password is 123456789. Make sure which password you give, you need to enter that password. Okay, don't enter 129. Alright, yes. So now observe over here, I am trying to give the connection, it will throw an error. I will show you. So class dot for name, okay, class dot for name, inside this give your driver. So now you can able to see like this. Okay, so now we are going to give a connection over here. See, before trying to give a connection, it's already throwing an error, because since, see, DB normally it won't throw an error, it is going to throw the exceptions, or database exceptions, or MySQL exceptions. So we need to handle those exceptions. So how to handle those exceptions? So we need to enclose this entire thing in a try catch block. So just hover your mouse and it shows add throw declaration or surround with try catch. So let's surround with try catch. Okay, done. So I'll remove this extra comments as well. So class for name driver. So here I'm going to give or establish the connection over here. So connection which is null for the first time. So connection is equal to, let's say, driver manager dot get connection. So you need to pass few arguments. First one will be URL, second one will be user, and third one will be password. Right? So at the end give a semicolon. Alright. So let's see, again we'll get an error because this is throwing an exception of type class not found exception. So when you are giving connection to your database means it has to throw one more kind of exception which is called SQL exception. So that also we need to add it. So just hover your mouse over here and add a throw declaration, or you can able to surround it with try catch again. So instead of doing that, I'll just click on add throw declaration, that will be added to our function directly. So as you can see, here you can able to see throw SQL exception as well. This has to be handled. Okay. So now let's save everything and just run this application whether the connection is getting established or not. Okay, or if we getting any error, we'll try to solve that. So just run this application and click on Java application and click on OK. So at the console your application will get started within few seconds. So we'll wait that until this gets started and we'll see whether if we get any errors or not. If we get error, we'll try to solve that. Okay. So here you need to select your application. So in my case, if the application name is mighty.application, I believe, yeah, mighty application. Okay, com.employee. Just click on OK. In the console, the execution or running of your project will get started. Okay, so as you can see in the console, it started over here. It started from Spring. Okay, so your application getting started one by one. It will take a couple of seconds, or yeah, couple of seconds. It won't take much time. And yes, application almost started, and you can able to see Tomcat initialized with the port number 8080. Means your application has been started with the port number 8080, and you can see at the last started mighty application in this many seconds. Means when it took 24 seconds. Alright, so now we have directly gave the connection to our database and we don't have any errors or any exceptions as well. So our application is working perfectly. Alright. So now everything is set and we have left out one more thing that I have forgot actually. So we need to create a one more package called com.employee. So just select source main Java, just click a right button, go for new and go for a new package work here. So let's say com.employee.model. Alright. So this model is going to reflect your DB. Suppose if you want to get some data from merging two tables means here only you should define the model. To perform any CRUD operation which you are getting any data or inserting any data into a database, that every model has to be created in this particular package. So we'll understand one by one. So just click a right button over here, go for new and go for a class. So just create a new model called employee. So just click on finish. So what are the variables which you have defined in your DB, so in your database table, so that you need to type it over here. So we have mentioned in the table attribute as employee name for the first time, employee name. Second, we had string mail ID as well, so give a space over here, mail ID. So next we had int number over here. So next we have string, so we have given as state and also we have gave string job role as well, so job role semicolon like this. So now you need to add all the getters and setters, to string and also to constructor, parameterized constructor and the default constructor as well. So just click a right button over here and go for source and go for generate getters and setter. Just select this and click on select all and generate. Alright, first step is done. Just click a right button, go for source again, go for constructor using fields and generate. And one constructor is done, which is the parameterized constructor. So next we need one more constructor which is superclass constructor, or which is our default constructor. Go for source, generate constructors from superclass. So generate it and click on generate. And the last we have source generate toString. That's all. Alright. So now click on generate. So now every setup. So now we'll see how we can able to delete a data. Okay. So now now we need to check whether like based on what we need to delete a particular data in a database. So as you can see, I have already have few data in my database work here, and like Doraemon, Shinchan, Nobita, Augie, Shizuka, Tommy. So now I can able to in this, which is the unique thing, is mail ID and number. I can able to delete using the number and the mail ID as well. So now in this particular example, I'm going to delete a particular employee name based on the employee. I want to delete an employee based on the employee name. Okay. So here, when I give a name Tommy, okay. So if the name given by the user is Tommy, so the Tommy data will be deleted. So we'll write this kind of function. And in some cases, on most of the application, you'll be using ID instead of the name or anything else, or ID or phone number. But in this example, based on the employee name, will delete. Means if we give the employee name, that employee has to be deleted from the database table itself. Clear? Okay. So now we'll go to our Eclipse ID again. I'm just here. I'm going to close all this tabs. All right. So now I'll create a new service. Okay, here I already have a service file which has been created earlier. I am going to define a method which I need to perform. So as of now, I need to perform, or I need to delete a data, correct? So I need to define a method over here. So let's say the method name will be something like this, public. Okay, public. I'm not going to return anything, or let's say public void. All right. So delete employee. So delete employee. So here, whichever the user which we gave, based on that user, the data has to be deleted. So I'll give string and a name. So employee name, obviously it will be a string. So that's why employee name over here. All right. So I'd give a semicolon and save this. Clear? So now go for, see, we have defined a method over here, DELET. Yeah. So we have defined a method over here. So now I need to implement the method. So where you need to implement? In the IMPL package. So here I am going to create a file called, so file name will be employee. So here we have a service, correct? So employee service IMPL, employee service IMPL. Just click on finish. All right. The first thing, see, since you are deleting a data from a database itself, means you need to give a connection. So we have already defined the connection in the DB util. So now how we can able to connect them? Call the connection. So whenever this particular method is getting called, so that connection method has to be called automatically. Okay. So first we'll write a constructor over here. Okay. Constructor will be very easy. Public. So this name, as if no, the name of the constructor will always be the same as the class name. So here what I'm going to do is, so first I'll define a connection over here first. So connection is an object which I am creating. Okay. So here let's import this connection first. So hover your mouse over there like this, hover your mouse and import that. All right. So let's write connection. This is an object is equal to, from which, so DB. Okay, this is the class, from this class I want to import it. So that's why DB util dot get connection and give a semicolon. That's all. So now your connection has been established. So here you are getting an error. The reason because, so SQL doesn't have a errors, it has exceptions. So Miss Database doesn't have errors, it has exceptions. So let's hover your mouse over there, add a throw declaration, and that is gonna solve your issue. Okay, yes. So now see, here we have defined a method, correct? So this method has to be implemented in this particular file. So I'll write over here implements. Okay, what's the service name? So service name is employee service. So just copy and paste it over here. So you'll get an over here error because you need to import this service first. So import quickly, done. And here again you'll get an error because here we have defined a method but we have not yet implemented over here. So those methods has to be implemented in this particular file. So hover your mouse again and add unimplemented methods. So here we have the method with open and close braces. So here we have a semicolon over here, correct? So here we have open and close brackets, means we need to implement at this particular file. All right. So let's write a query first. So let's write a query string. Okay. Let's say delete query. Delete query is equal to delete from, what's your table name? Table name is employee, correct? Employee data. Table name is employee data, correct? Employee data. So employee data where based on what I need to delete, based on employee name. So employee is equal to, here I need to pass a name. So which name come over here? So which are the name will come over here for this function, based on that name we are going to delete an employee data. So is equal to, since the name is a string, okay, so it's a single quotes and a double quotes plus, so let's mention a name over here, plus double quotes close and a single quotes close at the end, close the double quotes over here. After this you need to give a semicolon, then at last the semicolon. So this semicolon is for the query and this semicolon for this particular statement. Clear? So now we have written a query over here. So let's write the statement. So let's say prepared statement. So this is an object which I am creating as stmt, is an object of prepared statement, is equal to, from the connection. So here we have a connection, right? So from the connection, all right, so connection dot prepare statement. So inside this I need to pass a query, so which is delete query. So this is going to execute. So again, as you can see, since we are using the connection, so SQL should handle. So that's why hover your mouse over there and surround with try catch block like this, simple. So delete this unwanted command. Yes, so here we have the execution query till statement. So now we need to execute this query and let's mention as stmt dot execute update. So we can use execute query, and in some cases execute query doesn't work. Okay, so you can try if you want, miss, but as of now I'm including execute update. Clear? So I'll give a semicolon over here. Alright, so everything looks good as of now, right? So now we need to call this particular method. So how we able to call this method? So we'll create a controller, so and we'll create an API. So with whenever we hit the request, so the like whichever the username which we give, based on that the user or the employee has to be deleted. Clear? Okay, so now we'll go to our package controller, means controller package. We'll create a new file called employee controller. So let's say employee controller. Clear? There was a spelling mistake, so controller, right? See, now our Spring Boot application is not going to understand whether it is a controller or not. This is just a Java file, correct? So we need to annotate as REST controller like this. Clear? Yes. So now let's write a method. So let's write a method. So first the method name will be public. I'm not going to return anything, so void. So delete employee. So here the path variable, so means the endpoint should take the value. See, as of now we are not including anything, so whichever the employee we need to delete, so we'll give in the URL itself. So that's why in the path variable, so path means our endpoint, means our URL. So path variable string name like this. So now let's import this path variable as well. So let's import it over here. So hover your mouse over here and you can able to import it. So yes, okay, my Eclipse got stuck a little bit, so hover your mouse and import it. Done. Cool. So now next, so based on what we need to call, so we need to call this particular method of employee service, correct? So here, okay, here let's include over here, let's say private employee service. So employee service is the object. So this is the service file. So let's import this service file over here. Done. All right. So we need to annotate this as auto void. So the reason because auto void, see, whenever we call a method from this particular service, means this has to call the implementation part. So that's the reason you need to give auto void. So it is going to achieve a dependency injection rule. Clear? Yes. So now using this employee service, we'll call that method employee service dot. So we have defined a method called delete employee. So inside this we'll pass this name. So this name again comes over here. So here we have defined. So that's why this method will be getting called. To call this method also we need to annotate this particular file as a service. So let's say service and import this service as well, and it will be very simple. So now everything is look good. So let me show you a one time. So here, okay, we have not given the this one. We have not created an API at all as of now. So at, okay, since it's a delete, so it will be delete mapping. Okay, it will be a you can also mention request mapping, it is going to work. So request mapping, so I'll mention method will be request method dot will be delete, okay, comma. So value means our endpoint, means our URL, which is value is equal to, I'll mention as delete slash, here I'll give the name. So name, whenever I gave name in the URL, so that name will come over here. It is going to take from the path variable, so that name will come over here. So the name of that employee is going to be deleted. So let's import this request mapping as well, and we are good to go to run our application. So now save your application, entire thing, select your project, which is Mighty over here in my case. So run this application, and it will take a couple of seconds to run this application. So I'll just copy this, okay, I'll just copy this. All right, so and I'll meantime I'll just show you my this one database. So we have Doraemon, Shizuka, Nobita, Augie and Shizuka and Tommy. So we are going to delete a Doraemon, so make sure D is capital over here. So based on the employee name, we are going to delete, so Doraemon. So now I'll go to my browser. So I'll go to my browser over here. So I'll just click on browser. So here I'll give localhost 8080 slash, I'll just paste it over here, delete. So here I'm going to give Doraemon. All right, DOREMON. So now I'm going to click this. If okay, before that, wait, before running this API, let's go to my Eclipse again. So we need to understand whether this has been deleted or not, right? So here, after this particular statement, I'll mention a sysout, system.out.println. So I'll mention as employee deleted. Save this again, run your application, stop your server, select your project, run the application again. All right, so it will take a couple of seconds to run your application. So we'll just wait for that. Okay, yes. So application is getting started. So I hope everything looks good. I'll just see a cross check over here. So application got started. I'll go to my browser now, and this is the request, okay, slash Doraemon is the employee which I want to delete. So I'll just click on enter. So the request is getting sent, and okay, my application is not yet started, so it's still starting. So let me run the request again. Okay, we got an error. That's really nice. So let's check the error over here quickly. So if I expand this, what we have, request method get not supported. Get, okay, let me check again. So it is showing as get. All right, we need to go to the controller. Okay, so request mapper request is delete. Okay, all right, so we cannot able to delete through a browser. We need to use an application called Postman. So we'll go to the Postman, and I'll give you the link how we can able to install this Postman over here. So normally browser acts as a get method. Okay, our normal browser acts as a get method, so that's why we cannot able to delete it. Okay, so here my Postman is getting open, so we'll wait for a couple of seconds over here to get this Postman open. As you can see, it is loading over here. And what I'll do in the meantime, I'll just copy this API. See, I'll just copy this, copy, and I'll minimize this. So here my Postman is getting open. So yes, it's loading, as you can see, and yes, so Postman has been opened. So here what you can see, yes, loading, yes. So here, this is where you need to give your request. So paste it over here, whichever your endpoint is. So now here you need to select the delete method. So you need to select delete method. So now click on send. Okay, now first we'll directly check with Eclipse whether we got any error. Means if the error is not there, means okay, we have an error. Okay, we'll see what is it. So column employee is where class unknown column. So where is the unknown column? So might be we have okay, we don't have an employee column, we have an employee name as a column, correct? So yes, a small mistake over here. So stop your server again, so start your server again. Clear? So again we need to wait a couple of seconds. So let me cross check whether my spelling is good. So employee data and the employee name, correct? Yes. So application getting started. All right. Yes, okay, my application got started at the port number 8080. So starting service, started complete, cool. So now go to your Postman again. So send the request now, 3 2 1 boom. All right, so here sending the request. Okay, so now I'll check my Eclipse again. So we don't have any errors, and this has been written something like this: employee deleted. Clear? So now we need to cross check, right, in our database whether this has been deleted or not. So let me run select star from employee data. So now doorman has to be deleted, and it, of course, doorman has been deleted. See, now we don't have doorman. So now we'll delete Augie. Okay, we'll delete Augie. So I'll go to my Postman again. Instead of doorman, I'll mention Augie, OGGY, and I click on send request. So again I'll go to my database. So let me run this. So now you don't have Augie as well. Clear? So now if I want to delete Shizuka, okay, I need to give a name as Shizuka over here. So let's say instead of Augie, Shizuka. So I'll send a request again. Clear? So I'll cross check again like this, select star for employee data. So we don't have Shizuka. So successfully we have deleted 3 data with our Spring Boot delete method. Clear? So I hope you guys understood how we can able to delete a data from a database using Spring Boot application. So if you have any question, means you can drop a message in the comment section, and I'll just drop a link to install Postman for this application. Okay, so in the description itself you can get that link, and if you just drop me a message, suppose if you want to learn something else, means just drop me a message, so I'll make a video for you that. Okay, so that's all about in this video. So we'll meet in our next video. Until then, take care, goodbye, bye bye.